And welcome, beloved ones.
Hey, YouTube at Official Sri and Kira. This is an exclusive, and we are here with you. This is as real as it gets. This is Sri and I right here, and I do want to give a shout out to our beautiful trio of angels who lives here with us at TOSA Blue Mountain. We had this amazing setup all ready to go. We were going to be live from our beautiful living room area, and fascinating energy said, no, go back up to the studio. So to those beautiful ones who were working so hard and got everything ready, the entire world is feeling you. And I know for a fact that both Bria Rose and Susan Sturdivant up in Maine are in the chat. So please remember that if you're chatting over at Official Sri and Kira at YouTube, Sri and I are not in the chat because of the way that we had to enter in this evening. However, Bria Rose is there from right here at TOSA Blue Mountain. Possibly Masha and Jeanette are in there too, I'm not sure. And of course, Susan Sturdivant is in as well up there in Burr, chilly Maine. We're here in our summer.
Yeah, we're warm.
It's really a beautiful time here. Yeah. And so everyone, welcome. And first and foremost, Sri and I want to welcome all of you that have been with us for the past 12 weeks, every Monday night right now for Monday Magic.
You know, Monday Magic is what we call that beautiful moment every Monday evening where we get together to study the transmissions of self-ascension. And when I say transmissions, there are a series of books that have come through from the ascended realms. And each one of these series has 12 lessons. So we're taking 12 weeks for each lesson and working together to unlock the codes, to really look deeply at the wisdom that is being shared.
And here's what we've learned. And really, we're sharing this with all of you because some of you may be joining us for the very first time. And if you are here for the very first time, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for hearing that call of today, of this moment right now, because this experience of Monday Magic, this lesson 12 of the Galactic Encyclopedia being decoded was happening tonight. It was happening. It has been on the books. The fact that it was happening on 12/21 honestly did not hit all of us until a few weeks ago. The fact that when the way this came together was put together is so incredible that it brought forward, thank you, that it brought forward a divine recognition that each lesson has become more prophetic. Each lesson has become deeper. Each lesson has become richer. And what Sri and I did not know, and we want to share for those of you that may not have heard of this before, and it's kind of why this beautiful rainbow, which we had today, by the way, another massive rainbow today here at TOSA Blue Mountain. Sri and I did not know when these original series were being delivered. We didn't know about spiral time. Certainly, we were not living in multidimensional consciousness the way we are now. Things were very, very different, yet they were very similar. And what we have learned through all of you since Monday Magic began, which was our clarion call when March 13, remember guys, that's when this all started really power training in. We did not know the extent that we were, quote, ahead of time. Sri and I have always been time surfing. That's what we do. We time surf. We all time surf. We all, whether we're conscious of it or not, is another thing. But in our time surfing and in the way that we have been together and in our 19 years of public service, what we now know is that the reason we are personally here, the reason we are alive on this planet right now, is because we have converged into this timeline right now. And this moment, this 12/21/20 moment is a moment where I apologize. I wanted to make this graphic for you. Imagine a spiral of energy flowing in one direction. But then inside of that spiral energy is another one flowing another direction, right inside of it. And then inside of that is another one flowing back in that opposite direction again. That is the time experience we are having. That is the way that these dimensions are coagulating in this experience of co-creative time. Today, this moment in this grand, beautiful Christmas star energy, those concentric circles of time, of the fluidity of the alchemy of that which we are, have locked together in a moment where your level of consciousness is able to literally expand and receive at a capacity that could have some serious ramifications to your nervous system, to your emotional body, to everything that you are. But yet that is what today is. Because after today, those spirals are going to all start moving again. And it's how they move. And it's the stream of energy that you are anchoring in that is the moment before us. And for those of you that were invited into our Monday Magic experience here at YouTube at Official Sri and Kira, that's why we're going live, because we're in complete trust that whoever shows up here right now is who is to be here. Because if you were with Sri and I yesterday on our show, Sri and Kira Live every Sunday, and right here at Official Sri and Kira at YouTube, and if you weren't there, go back and watch it, then you know that we were discussing how today is a rich opportunity for, let us just say, the adaptation of this energy of expansion to be called forward in ways that will sincerely grant everyone what is before them. It is a moment of expanded consciousness. And in that moment of expanded consciousness, it is without limitation. It is for the all. And we are at a moment where, unbeknownst to us all, in this moment right now, there is a clarion call for higher consciousness to awaken a greater sense of balance. Hence why even Sri and I were masked from being able to make this call to invite you until I unsealed. Literally, it was like going into that dark chamber and unsealing this ensoulment, when the waves, and I mean waves of energy came in, that this ensoulment had to be re-released today in this experience of linear time expanding into spiral time. So taking a breath, really thank yourself. And we're inviting you to sink a little deeper with us right now, because we are bowing before you. This is an appointment kept, and you were meant to be here. And so we honor you. And if you are catching us in any form of video replay, we are time stamping in this moment, and we honor you and we thank you. You are ready because you are here.
Absolutely. And what an amazing time we are in, where the seemingly linear progression of the calendar has brought us to a moment of truly being able to connect with the spirals of the time flow. And that what transpired when this ensoulment was first delivered to the world some years ago.
2006.
In 2006, we happened to be at a conference.
It was our conference.
That
No,
we
not
hosted.
just a conference that
Yes.
we produced.
Yeah.
This was the first symposium we ever produced. And this was in 2006. And that is one of the first things that blew my mind about the timing.
Well, especially because we're now in the birthing of the WWA Global Conference, which is coming up at the equinox this March. And so there's an amazing
and here we
tie-in
are, right, here we are talking about this one on today, the solstice.
On the solstice.
On the solstice. And then the next moment of balance is what? The March equinox. And so that was one of the things that really hit me as well. And then the fact that I knew I had pictures of this event, because the picture of Sri and I that's actually in the PDF we're going to be using actually sits on our private altar in our bedroom and has been there for years, because it was one of the first pictures that captured such rich orbs. And I was also noticing today something I hadn't really looked at for a while, was that there were 3 orbs in that picture, and that this ensoulment is about living as the divine Trinity. And so the spiraling of the time right now is calling us all to a higher sense of being together. And this is the gift that the only reason Sri and I are on the planet is honestly to decode these for this moment. That when these ensoulments first came in, as a matter of fact, we were clearly guided not to decode them. We were told, don't change a word, leave them as they are. And now, wow, do we know why? And every week before we get together on Monday Magic, I decode them in real time, usually right before that evening, because it's that important that the timing was so concrete. Today was the first time I knew when I woke up this morning, I had to begin. And then this afternoon, Shri and I continued with a walk up the mountain. And it was the first time in many millennia, because it's been that long since I had lived up there, that I was laying in the prophecy pool today. I mean, literally laying in it for the first time. And Shri on the altar, and the messages that came through from the dragon Nagual. The Naga is so awake. This is that moment for you to be claiming the law of instantaneous manifestation. And what is before us right now has never been before in our collective experience of consciousness. And this is why we are here together again. We all know each other. We've always known we've known each other. And yet we've chosen this moment of time. And our journey, Shri and my journey, has been to travel the world extensively, to live among the indigenous in many different cultures, to be blessed to be taken in by them, and to be trusted to share their story as part of our galactic story. Are we not, when we are consciously awake, the custodians of our indigenous friends? Are we not the galactic citizens that can restore, revitalize, reverse age? We are eternal beings. The illusion that is now is that we are at a moment that is filled with so much opportunity that the limitation before us is that belief system we put upon it.
That is powerful, because we are at the time where consciousness is expanding beyond where it has been on this planet.
Ever.
And it's
ever. Atlantis, Lemuria, all of it.
And it's a wonderful thing to be with you on this solstice moment of December 21, and to be with you with the energy of the ascended consciousness, and with the open portal for you to connect with this energy. Part of the reason we chose to make this particular Monday Magic lesson available to all is due to this synchronicity, the lining up of not only the moment in spiral time, but also the moment in the linear time and the solstice.
Shift.
And it's kind of like a gateway moment, and truly powerful. And we want to get into the ensoulment here in a moment, and we're going to put it up on screen, and
and we'll be reading along. But before we do, I do want to remind all of you, and Shri and I with all of our hearts, and Bria Rose and Masha and beautiful Jeanette all had the most beautiful thing to share with you this evening, but they did make a little film. Those of you that are part of Monday Magic, you know that you can join Monday Magic for as little as $1 donation, and that your donations matter. And part of your donations go to our local food share program here, where we were just completing our Christmas donations earlier today. And I wanted to share that with you, and also remind you that the donations were a little skinnier this time because the donations just aren't there. And so maybe it's a wonderful Christmas gift to yourself to go enroll in the next Monday Magic series that begins the second week in January. And you can find out about that at our website. Yeah,
when you head to the homepage of ShriAnkira.com, just click on the events and you'll find the Monday Magic, and there you'll get an opportunity to enroll, which will give you a private link to the Zoom webinar where we also do conversational pieces.
And we take your questions live.
Take your questions, etc. Here at YouTube, we don't do that. We're here to share, and you can chat in the chat. And by the way, those of you that are new, identify yourself, say hi to the community that's there, and those of you that have been around a while, help them out. Help them out. If something needs a little explaining or whatever, lend a hand.
So let's roll that little film. It's just 1 minute. It was created by our beautiful Bria Rose, and thank you, because you made this possible. This was this morning.
Here we go.
Oh, thank you, Bria Rose, for putting that beautiful film together. And thank you, our beautiful Monday Magic community, especially on this beautiful moment, this beautiful day, for being with us for the past 12 weeks and for knowing that this is just beginning. You know, let's think about that this year in 2020, we did Living in the Fifth Dimension, which is now an incredible series. You can go back, listen to it again. And then we have been unveiling the Galactic Encyclopedia with this incredible information. And starting in January, it will begin with Living an Ascended Life. And of course, Lessons of Oneness will be following that. So get in with the community. Join us every Monday night and let's dive into the reason we're here, which is this ensoulment is off the charts, just off the charts.
All right, I'm going to try something. We're on a little different broadcast software tonight. Let me see if this brings it up. And okay, not yet.
Say open system preferences and then open. Okay.
Hang on one second, everybody.
Okay, we might get this done. So what we're trying to do is show you the PDF while we are still visible to you. It's really the best way that we have to do this. And it will not be able to record.
Okay, we can't do it.
So we can't do it. So
here we go. We got another way to do this.
All right, we're going to go back to the other way to do that. And so there we are.
Here we go. Loading the PDF. Here we are.
There it is. Fine.
And
all right, everybody. So here it is. So this PDF, the link to this PDF, if you want it, this is the 2020 PDF that was finished by myself earlier today. And this is the exact PDF. This is the exact content that was delivered in 2006 that has been literally called forward in this moment, the keys unveiled. Those of you that have been with us for Monday Magic, you're going to find a lot of that Archangel Zodkiel coding in here. This is one of the things we do in Monday Magic is we teach you the codes. And so the first thing we're going to talk about tonight is the yes and the indeed. But before we go there, let's look at the top. Shri, let's look at the top of that PDF. Oh my goodness. Right there where it says, living as the Divine Trinity.
And we've got to lean into the screen a little bit. Living as the Divine Trinity, the blended bloodlines, the four origins of cosmic DNA, the illusion of now.
Now, those three items were what came through today. And as we go through the PDF this evening, as we share the PDF with you, as we pull forward all the keys of wisdom that are in this incredibly powerful ensoulment that is revealing itself right now on the planet, we're going to show you where those came in, and we are going to be revealing the greater depth of all of that during our New Year's Eve ensoulment. So please, please, please remember, join us New Year's Eve. It's free, but you do need to register. It will be here at YouTube, but on a private link. So, hey, get over to ShriandKira.com, register for New Year's Eve. And at the top of this, you will see that this was originally delivered at the 2012 Your Choice Ascension Symposium, October 1, 2006, which, as we mentioned earlier, this was when this ensoulment was seeded into this experience of time at our very first symposium. And in spiral time, Shri, here we are in the moment putting together our symposium, the first one in this new energy of spiral time. So this very much feels to me like a spiral time experience.
Absolutely.
Everything about this.
You know, one of the things that's fun, if you can see the pictures there, there's a picture of Kira and I on the left at the Fountain of Creation here at TOSA Blue Mountain. And on the right, we are on stage at the symposium delivering some information and
Actually,
energy.
that was about 30 minutes right after this ensoulment was delivered. That's I put that in there for people to know.
And notice the giant orbs in the photo.
And notice there's three. And that this is the Divine Trinity. And I never really put that together before until today.
Yeah. And so these are little markers of the energy of the times. So, beloved ones, let's get into this beautiful transmission. And it begins like this. Archangel Zodkiel speaks. Yes, we are here. Indeed.
Now, for those of you that have been with us on Monday Magic, you know what that means. You know that means the yes is the call to action. That's Zodkiel coming in and saying, this is so, yes. And there's a lot of that. And the indeed is that moment. Every time we see an indeed, it's a call to action. It's saying, hey, pay attention. This is, indeed. And what's so powerful here is that we even bolded it. All of the hearts of all beings, of all that are within, all that are without, and all that are around, in many abundant, treasured ways, are you. And, I just want to stop and say that it was very apparent that the very first thing our Zadkiel is saying to us in this moment is, hey, remember, you're here now because you created this. Yeah. And every aspect you see, everything you love, everything you hate, everything you're angry at, everything that you're fascinated with, all of it is you. So it's time to step out of victim consciousness and step into mastery presence. This is the moment where this is, I've been sharing with people all day long. Stop Einsteining, meaning we are at the moment where you must go beyond the level of consciousness to solve this. Where if the all is the all-involving, all-encompassing, up, down, around, in, without, then the way through is the expansion of consciousness. And I find it very profound that it's the opening line of this ensoulment and that it is being delivered today, December 21, 2020, in this moment where all of those concentric circles of consciousness have hit a moment where they're looking at each other going, okay, what are we going to do? And that's what's before us right now. And this ensoulment really guides us through that.
Yeah. Another thing I want to point out that Zadkiel shares, all of the hearts of all beings are you. And this is a reminder that we are all created from that divine love. Mm-hmm. We all have the same essence within us.
Absolutely. We really do. All right. Well, let's continue. Now, Sri, we're going to put up that PDF, and I just hit PDF. Is that how I do it here?
Yeah, you'll see it there.
All right. And there it is. Woo! Got it. All right. And let's go to the next page, because right at the top of the next page, and remember, you are going to have, Sri, I don't know what I did. I'm sorry. I can't handle technology. Okay, so you have a copy of this PDF, and this PDF is yours. Our gift to you. It's right there in the. Description at YouTube, and so you do have this right in front of you. And here we are on page 2, right there at the top. Divine nourishment in all aspects of being.
At this great monumental time of abundant recognition, you are being nourished. You are being nourished with every aspect of the divine, every aspect of allness, all experience, all beingness, all representation, all expression, every divine aspect.
And again, I think what's so powerful here is to remember that Zadkiel's saying, look, it's everything, and you're being nourished by it, whether or not you're jumping up and down around it. And I love how Zadkiel goes on to say here, look, if you make a list that said, here are all the aspects of my beingness, this is all the aspects that are nourishing, even if your list considers that which is scary or what you consider not to be so right. I love what Zadkiel is saying here. Indeed, remember, there it is, guys, that key, are not the things that you consider to be not quite so right a judgment in and of themselves? Who is the one in you making the determination of the judgment of what is right and what is wrong?
One of the things that this reminds us is that the entire universe is created of love, and that in the allness, all is permitted to exist.
Yes.
And it's through our experience of that allness that we start making ever wiser, ever more harmonious decisions.
Well, absolutely. And as you'll see on the rest of this page, and then we're going to move to the next page, that Zadkiel is really saying, okay, this whole brain thing, how much are you using of your brain? What's happening with your brain? And remember that you are in a moment of designed reassembly. And so let's go to the top of the next page. You are at a time of profound opening, and it has already begun. And what's important is you are in the time. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this cycle of great lion energy, because everything that Zadkiel is talking about here is a direct reference to exactly this moment. We are in this moment of this energy that is aligning, that is calling us to a whole new level of being, to a whole new way of expressing. And it is coming in and affecting everything. And Zodkiel talks about it here as like a fulcrum. That means that, look, this is a fulcrum. So there's going to be those that are going to lift. There's going to be those that are going to pull. There's going to be those who are going to push. And there's going to be those who are going to squash. And those of you that were with us last week for the incredible lesson 11 that was delivered on the up level moment last Monday, there was a whole lesson in there about what energy are you carrying in this moment of time? Because in this moment of time, there are lions and there are lambs. And there was some very profound teaching in that. And in the moment right now of this profound opening that has already begun, it is about knowing that you are in the time. You are not the time. When you are in the time, think of it as the still center of the spiral experience that has ignited right now.
Time is something you witness. It is not defining you. And when we are working with the spiral time, we're working with the content of that time. We're working with the opportunity of that time. And it's only the brain, and we're going to talk more about the brain here in a minute, but it's only the brain, the mind of density that says, nah, it's got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, left, right, up, down. You know, it has these categories for discerning reality.
Yeah.
And in fact, the brain is like a little box, a little computer system that was coded with the knowledge of density, meaning mass consciousness, and your brain is not automatically coded with the ascension frequencies.
Exactly.
And this is why it's so important to remember that the mind is your servant, not your master.
Woo, is it ever? And so, beloved angels, this is so important to remember that right now in this very, very, very moment, right? As you live, and let's put up that PDF again. Let's let them read it with us because we're reading right from the PDF. As you live in the lion energy, it is imperative to recognize how you choose to be in this energy. What is radiating through your body now? What is your body offering you? And are you paying attention? And bring a hand to your heart and really breathe that in, because here's where the first aspect of the divine trinity comes in. Now, one of the things that's already happened is that this ensoulment came in literally like a lion with a yes, indeed, we're going, here it is. Everything is you. You are everything. Let go of all your judgments. Let go of all this, evolutionary involvement in the distraction. But let's talk about your body, because there is a divine trinity that is unfolding, that is assisting you at this moment in density. And it does begin with our body, in the reminder that we have these three aspects that are ready to unify. Indeed, code, right? The time of trinity unification is imperative. This was really one of the first calls that also came in after everything that came on the first and second page, is that the Trinity unification is the oneness. It's the Mother, Father, Spirit. It's all of those energies. It's everything that brings us together. And I love how Zodkiel says, and look, this could be 3 pairs, 3 communities, and please do not understand that it's only 3, meaning the linear 3. And that was go beyond what Trinity unification means, pushing us to expand our consciousness.
It is the unison of the Trinity energy, the recognition of everything that you call into wholeness and all divine aspects of your beingness. That's the unison of it. The first aspect of this Trinity is your body.
Now, listen to the way Zodkiel wants you to hear this. It is your body. So consider that the energy of it is, that all-encompassing, expansive, universal experience, it is your body. So when was the last time you jumped up and down, right? When was the last time you said, I love this body? And they're saying, look, it's imperative. Let yourself have this gift. And when was the last time you talked to your body and let it talk back to you? And as you are looking at that, if you go to the top of the next page, what you see is, are you listening?
Yes.
Are you listening to your body? Because your body is speaking. So now let's talk about the body and the mind, because in a day like today, where the mind is saying it's got to be this, the astrology says it's this, the planets say it this says it this, let's let go of the mind and let the true master come forward and radiate the law of instantaneous manifestation. And the way to do that is through this unified presence. So let's learn more about it.
Oh, and this is a wonderful key right here. Your body is the greatest communicator that you have available to you right now. This is because your body is indeed transcending the mind.
Now breathe that in. And let's just take a moment and really talk about that, because when the body, or for the body to be able to transcend the mind, means that the first, second, and third traditional chakras have stabilized enough to ignite the ascended heart as the root center of your ascended presence. For the body to transcend the mind means that you have lifted the body through your consciousness into a state of sacred union that invites multidimensional presence. And we have been able to live all the way up into ninth dimensional presence while carrying this body now.
Yeah.
And the key is that the body is refining more and more and more and more. And as we move into 2021, and as these ascension symptoms come out, and remember, we're going to be releasing all of this New Year's Eve. Please go to ShriandKara.com, get registered for New Year's Eve. You'll see it right on the homepage. Click, get in. And as a matter of fact, you'll even see then how to register for Monday Magic. In this moment, you really need to say, okay, when all else is offering you illusion, and this is Zadkiel saying it right here in this beautiful ensoulment, when all else is offering you illusion, right now, all is illusion.
Yeah.
Then the body is a great humbler, because the body will call you in from the distraction. The body can create your own distraction to stop you from getting too far beyond that which is calling you forward.
You know, many times our mind is painting this picture of, oh, this is good, this is fine, look at that, because the mind is looking at surface.
Right.
The mind cannot discern truth from falsehood by itself. How does it know what's true and what's false? The heart informs the mind.
Exactly.
And this is part of the value that your body will start giving you sensations if frequencies aren't nourishing. If the harmony isn't there, even though the room may look beautiful, if you feel off, then something is not appropriate for you.
Yep. Your body is transcending the mind. So let's go back to the PDF, because this is really important. And Zadkiel really calls everyone on it. I love this little poke, this kind of having fun with spiritual activism, where Zadkiel says, oh, you know, some might say, oh, no, I am very spiritual, but I just can't walk today. Okay. Or I have much to do and just, you know, I'm too sick to do it. Pay attention. We offer this because your bodies are the greatest teacher in front of you in this moment. And may you always remember, you begged for this body. You created it. I want this one, this color, this shape, this way. Because in the creation of this beautiful form to come forward, you were gifted with the absolute divine knowing that you would forget. I'm going to read that again, because this is at the core of it. In the creation of this beautiful form and bringing forward this beautiful vessel, this beautiful body, you were actually gifted with the divine knowing that you would forget. And in the divine knowing that you would forget, you were given the gift of a body to help you remember. Remember, back to Einstein, right? All we are is frequency that has just lowered itself in order to be available for the senses, because we want to touch, we want to feel, we want to breathe, we want to see, we want that density. And so we have to lower our frequency so low so that these senses can become more solid. And so the body is the way we remember through that. You are in divine union with your body.
Where is your sacred partner? Rub your arms around your body right here, loving you in every moment, every precious second, every moment of every day, of every eon, of every evolution. Your body is your sacred partner, and we love you dearly. You are loved dearly, and your body says to you constantly, "Why do you not love me?" What do you say to your body? How do you treat your body? How would you treat any temple, beloveds? How would you treat the temple of another? These are powerful questions. If you just take a moment and touch your body.
Wow.
And with the energy of thank you, I love you.
There it is. Thank you. I love you. And here you are as you're holding that. We're just going to read to you right now. We're continuing on the PDF if you have it at home. And if not, don't worry. We're reading it to you. But in the energy of the personal Trinity, when you call forth the divine recognition, divine union, and sacred union of your own body, you begin an energetic realignment with the center of the universe. This is because you remember, in loving your body as it is right now, you remember. I want to repeat that again. In loving your body as it is right now, you remember. Because your body can only help you remember. It's a precious gift that was given to you to assure this. And the whole reason you came was for this body. I mean, how amazing is that, right? It's like, and I always say that. We always came because we just wanted to touch each other, right? I mean, it really is what it's all about. All right.
Well, and in this journey into form, into this journey of spirit, into the third density, of course, we would go as dense as is possible.
Absolutely.
And this body is not only your gateway to enjoying your experience here in form, it's also the gateway to remembering the truth of who you really are.
Well, you know, this is so true. And I want to go to right here because Zadkiel says something that's very, very important to really take in. Many cry out to us, what is happening in this world? Why do you kill bodies? Why are bodies killing bodies? You know, essentially, why is there so much war? Why is there so much violence? Begin by recognizing the gift of your body. So first, begin by recognizing, really appreciating the gift of your own body. And from there, each body can honor another body. And I want to call to your attention here Zadkiel's intentional use of the word bodies. Not people, not beings, not souls, bodies. Why are all of these bodies having this experience? Well, Zadkiel's saying part of it is because unless you honor your own vessel, how can you honor another? So begin by recognizing that legions of you have come to help you remember by saying that their body was available to leave. There are many, many, many that have come in knowing they will be going sometimes almost as quickly as they've arrived. May we each lift into that higher multidimensional presence to release that which calls us to judge. And so understanding the gift of isness. Now, for those of you that have been with us, you know the word understanding is Zadkiel's key that says left brain relax. We're going to offer you information that will assist the left brain. So understanding the gift of isness.
Open your heart and recognize that many are here in the time of harmonic alignment. This is because you are loved so much that they are offering you the gift of witnessing whatever you must witness so that you may remember, so that you can wake up, so that you can wake up to the divine memory of what it is you are, and you are to do now. This is a fun little wordplay here for a moment. To remember what the divine memory. Dearest children, there is no higher, there is no lower. There just is. In the isness, there is the divine recognition of the absolute perfection of all that is happening. In the isness, there cannot be war as you cannot see it as war.
Really breathe that in. We're going to continue for a moment. Through the isness, You see the selfless service of all who are recognizing and coming forward, being present, so that all may come into divine reunion and divine communion. You say to us so often, how can it be? What kind of a God, spirit, universe could let this happen? We invite you to remember, you are the co-creative power of this universe. You. Now, that entire page, that entire one that we just read before we move to the next page, is an absolute call to the mastery presence within. And it is the victim consciousness that will find the edge with that experience. Because that is saying, look, in victim consciousness, everything's a war. Think about it. In the world we're living in right now, there's wars on Christmas, there's war, you name it. Everything becomes a war in the state of consciousness that sees war. If you live in the state of consciousness that does not see war, then you cannot create war. And if you live in the state of consciousness that holds that frequency that does not see war, you also can melt your arms around those who do. And so this is part of that clarion call of the expansion of consciousness. Every moment, every breath, every single time that we are together right now is a miracle, because the fact that we are still here is already a miracle. Mm-hmm. We have collectively, enough of us woken up, come together, released the ego, and said yes, that we have arrived where we are now. That's why everything is so fresh. That's why everything is so precarious. That's why time has moved into spiral experience, because we have not done this way before. So often we confuse science fiction and the perception of what technology is and the way that we utilized our otherworldly abilities. Let's just use that in the way that our cosmic DNA was ignited. We see that as a higher level of consciousness. Often it is not. Often it is not. This is the perception that benevolent aliens have a greater consciousness than you do. They may have a greater technological experience, and they may very well have a greater sense of consciousness. However, that is not always the case. Anything that has tangible bodily experience of this form of density offers you an equal playing ground of consciousness.
Yeah. Yeah, any being, whether it's an extraterrestrial being or somebody that's your neighbor,
they're still a being.
They're still operating in the frequency of form.
Of density.
And as Kira pointed out, they may have some technological advantage, but they may not have a consciousness advantage.
The greatest gift you have, the greatest power inside of you, is the command of your consciousness. And it takes incredible naked authenticity to arrive there. And it is an incredible journey. And right now it is becoming a very challenging journey. And that is why these lessons are so important. And that is why we wanted to gather you this evening, because we're just starting to really get into the juice of this one. So let's go back to the PDF, Shri, and let's go to on screen. Let's do that. And let's go to the next page. All right. So let us go to the next page. And there we are. You just want to press, there we are. Okay. And so breaking free of me. Now, above this, Zadkiel was talking very much about the looking in the mirror. That when you look in the mirror and you see the eyes of the divine, this also, the divine directors, this is what we have been reminded of, that when we can only see the highest of each being, then only the highest expresses. Look into the mirror of the divine and see the eyes of the divine in all. Look into the literal mirror and see the eyes of your own divine self, because from there, consciousness arises into many beautiful, brilliant expressions. And I want to read just the last sentence down there where it says, the left brain is doing its best to stop you from this divine communion because it's terrified, dear ones. And we've been talking about this all year, that we have moved from the fear, the planetary fear body, to the planetary terrified body. And that when you're afraid, you'll give away your power. But when you're terrified, you will give away your soul.
And one of the things that a society reinforces is people who have answers, or reinforces the need to be doubtful and fearful and mistrusting.
Well, especially if they validate victim consciousness, if they have a savior mentality.
But the whole role of the brain is to control. And that is a feature that arises out of fear.
Exactly.
And so the brain is doing its best to stop you from divine communion because it wants to segment reality. It wants to put things in boxes, compartmentalize it, understand it, analyze it, return to it, recontextualize it, etc.
Well, here it is, breaking free of me. Your left brain loves you so much it says, hey, what about me? And I think I'm going to throw a tantrum.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it's all about me, me, me. So what happens to your consciousness when you hear a siren? Me, 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 right? It can be alarming. It does not feel good. And this really struck me because in 2006, when this was delivered, this was long before the narcissistic society that we are living in now. I mean, there was plenty of me society. However, we have the world, the illusion, right? The illusion has really taken the me. So this was also another stunning moment of this is exactly the moment that this needed to be inserted into. And they're saying, you know, is it much more harmonically aligned to invite the process of beingness to come forward rather than alarming yourself with the me. And to remember that the divine Trinity begins with you. And to recognize that you are all in sacred union. You are all in divine partnership. You are all in the divine presence of you. Love your beautiful bodies.
Dearest children, is it not one of the greatest acts of density to teach you not to love your body as it is? Pay attention, dear ones. You have beautiful bodies, beautiful expressions, each perfectly designed to carry the energy that you asked to carry in this world.
And I gotta love this. Is it not one of the greatest acts of density to teach you to not love your body as it is? There's TV shows about plastic surgery now.
Yeah, plastic surgery.
I mean, that has all really come up. So this was once again saying, you know, pay attention. You're at a profound time. Let the comfort of your body determine how it looks. If you're comfortable and you're in joyous union, then all is in divine order, is it not? And there's a Zodkill signature. Yes. All right.
So it's a wonderful reminder that if we are able to move into the true acceptance and love of our body, that we are accepting the divine at the same time.
So here we are at the second aspect of the divine Trinity, and we can see how this is starting to build. And so the body is the first aspect, and from that union with the body comes the second. It is your recognition of the divine presence, because the brain likes order. And the brain wants bullet points.
As you claim the recognition of divine presence and union with the body, you are able to activate the divine DNA within. This opens the portals of divine presence that you are without any doubts.
This right here is where the huge download came in today, and I was shown all of the cosmic DNA, how it's realigning, the stranding, what's happening to it, why it's coming in, how this divine harmonic is together. And this is all heavily, heavily woven into the doubt molecules that are seeking to stop you. So remember, only doubt separates. Only doubt separates.
And when the word separate is reminding us that we're separating from the divine truth, our divine nature. So, here's Zodkill asking you the questions. How often do you doubt yourself? How often do you doubt this world? How often do you doubt another? How often do you express your clarity while others doubt you? Thereby you doubt yourself again.
But I love this. The reminder that within the recognition of the divine presence, doubt does not exist. So as you are able to move with doubt-free existence, everything shifts. And one of the gifts of this year, as we are culminating right now, as we are coming into the year of 2021, the year of 2020 was the year of that dragonfly experience. It was our first non-linear year. It had some linear components though, but it was the first year of the two-year up level and time compression experience that has called in this spiral time ignition of consciousness. And so what's so important to remember is that right now, everything shifts. December is the culminating month of the profound shift energy of 2020. This right here is saying, look, pay attention. As you are able to move with this doubt-free existence, everything shifts. December is the anchor month of profound shift in the cycle of spiral time that ignites what's going to be moving forward as we step into 2021. And so I love this right here, Shri, where let's go back to the PDF and we can read it. Dearest children, when you stop doubting, you start embracing. You start living as the active experience of the fullness of the divine. Law of instantaneous manifestation.
Yes. And I want to circle back on this for a moment, because this is so important for this time, that when you doubt, you are actually separating from your divinity. When you doubt, you are creating the energy of fear, uncertainty. And so we doubt your money, you doubt yourself, you doubt your time, you doubt others' motives, your career, your family, you doubt. And all of that is creating a lot of pain and a lot of separation from trusting your divine nature.
Right?
And so Zadkiel's basically imperative here is saying, dearest children, when you stop doubting, you start embracing.
There it is.
And what are you embracing? The active experience of the fullness of the divine.
And that is the law of instantaneous manifestation in motion. That is the alchemical transformation. That's the yoga of self-ascension. And so I love that they immediately go in and say, okay, now let's talk about that skeptical part of you. Okay? Because, you know, what they're really saying, I love this. Zadkiel's saying, look, when you're being skeptical, what you're really saying is, I love myself enough that I just don't want to doubt anymore. So help me no longer doubt. Because what a skeptic's really saying is, I'm terrified, right? Wasn't that, they was just terrified? I'm terrified of being hurt again. Yeah. I'm terrified of trusting. I'm terrified of this. I'm terrified of that. So the skeptic part of you is the part of you that is trying to help you release the doubt. And be careful. I love how Zadkiel says here at the bottom of the page, keep it in perspective. Ask yourself, okay, who is skeptical? What is the aspect of you that is asking, and why? And as you answer those questions, move forward and trust yourself enough to recognize, remember, reunify, and be in the divine presence always. Next page, Shri. Let's do it. All right, right at the top.
This is powerful. Let's take a breath. When you are in sacred union with your beloved body and presence of the divine essence, when doubt can no longer define that you are, and all that remains is the honest recognition that you are the divine essence, expressing, offering, and growing.
This is that state of ascended awareness. It is that moment where you are aware beyond that which you have been aware of, and you simply are in that honest recognition that you are the divine essence. Yeah. This is not about ego. This is not about anything other than that deep sense of knowing, because doubt no longer defines you.
And look at the beauty and the brilliance of this teaching in the Trinity pieces, that the first two aspects, sacred union with the body and presence of the divine essence.
Yeah.
When we really relax into that, doubt no longer defines us, and what's left is simply essence.
Exactly. And I love that. Brings us to the third aspect, and there it is. You are light, and all light expands. It is all it can do. It is your divine imperative. As you expand, your consciousness reunifies. So consider that. The more that you expand, the more you reunify. The more that you resist, the less, the more fragmented you are. So it's like a no-brainer, right?
As you come into greater sacred union with your divine physical presence, you remember, reconnect, and honor the divine presence within and at all times. This is when you hear the harmony of the universe, the third aspect of the Trinity. The third aspect of the Trinity is divine love expressed as the harmony of the universe.
Woo, let's just really breathe that in, because let's continue. This is not the emotional love. In your world, love is very much a false god. It is a word that is thrown around loosely. I love you as long as you do this. I love you for a year. I love you because I should say that. Remember that love in and of itself is not a conscious act. It is your presence. Divine love is experienced when you gift yourself with recognizing the absolute divine gift in every experience, every being, every action, every moment, every breath. So taking a conscious breath. Let's just do that. Taking a conscious breath.
Big breath in. And yes, do it again.
Yeah, do it again. We're going to just walk you through this.
What did you feel?
So just relax.
Maybe you need to close your eyes, and let's do this again. Conscious breath. Breathe again. What did you feel? Keep breathing until you do know what you feel. Keep breathing until you feel even more. Keep breathing until every cell ignites with the presence of divine love. It is important to reunify with the essence of love.
It is important to reunify with the essence of love, not the emotional love, the essence of love, that deep gift, because in the essence of love, there is only bliss. There is only recognition. There is only the understanding that every aspect, every expression, every beingness is in divine harmony. And we're going to put up the PDF again, because where this brings us to is exactly what Archangel Zadkiel is saying us here. Because from this Trinity that begins within you, we're at the very bottom of the page here, you are at the time right now where you must make a choice.
Yes.
And so let it begin with you. Let's go to the next page. How about that choice, right? All right. So often you call out, how can I be of service? And then you become judgmental of your service. I will be in service to this cause because this cause is the only cause that's right. Pay attention. All causes serve the awakening of all beings and all expressions. This is not mutually exclusive energy.
No. To truly be of service, we invite you to trust yourself as much as we trust you. We have no doubt that you are. We have no doubt that you are expressing. We have no doubt that all that you are doing serves the entire universal community.
Really breathe that in. Because there's really, it's the totality and the expansive nature of the all here cannot be understated. We invite you to recognize that you are at a time where you are waking up to galactic recognition, citizenship, if you will. Interesting word, citizenship. You are indeed recognizing and remembering that you are much more than this little space and this part of what you call a galaxy, which is a space in what we offer to you as the universal kingdom of divine love. Now, this whole page right here is where a lot of the other downloads came flooding in. There is a lot of extra coding going on here. Here's more of the coding. Many of you have heard that there are many mansions here in the universal kingdom of divine love. Have you created yours? Can you see yourself in it? Do allow yourself the gift of this divine recognition. We invite you to remember that your veil can only be lifted to the level of consciousness that you wish to embrace.
Now, this is really important to recognize. Everyone in the spiritual communities talks about awakening, talks about ascension or enlightenment. And what Zadkiel is saying here, and I'm going to read this directly to you, we invite you to remember that your veil can only be lifted to the level of consciousness that you wish
to embrace.
And so your mind might get off in an abstraction saying, oh yeah, I choose enlightenment and return to oneness. But in fact, your actions, your commitment, where you put your energy is saying, I'm invested in a more conventional reality.
How are you living your life? Go
Yes.
back to this ensoulment, print out this PDF, watch this video again and again, listen to this. Pay attention to the questions and the self-inquiry that's come forward. Because as Zadkiel says right here, therefore, it's like a conclusion. Well, if X is Y and Y is whatever, therefore, it is important for you to make a decision.
Yes.
And they're like, dearest children, make a decision because it is imperative for each being to be in their divine choice. Many of you have asked, what is sin? Is there a sin? Well, if there is only one, it is to interfere with the path of another or to allow another to interfere with your path.
Yes.
Remember that you are on a divine mission. And is your mission important? Absolutely. You would not be here if it wasn't.
Whatever you decide, remember it is the commitment to the choice that unveils the miracle of the choice.
Now, I want you to really take that in again. It is the commitment to the choice that unveils the miracle of the choice. This is that direct reference to steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust. If you really sincerely want to ascend your consciousness and be able to hold open that experience, it does invite one quality: steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust. And again, this particular moment, December 21, 2020, this 7-day week that we're in right now, is a week that is going to try and blur the line of your consciousness. It's a week that's going to do everything it can to come after your ego. It's going to do everything it can to stop you. And for those of you that are hitting these ninth dimensional realms of frequency, as I can personally attest, the physical experience of being able to maintain that while trying to perform simple density tasks is getting more challenging. Have mercy on yourself. And you may have to pull away from a lot of people because there are virtually very few people that will understand what's happening. And that moment is here. And it brings us to, I'm going to go back to the PDF because I want to read it right at the bottom of this page before we turn to the next page. If you vacillate in your choices, then the vacillation energy arises within you. And it is in that vacillation energy. How can you build solid community? And they're referring first and foremost to the community of you, your divine you. Right here at the top of the next page, community begins with the harmonic trinity of you. You are the community you seek. One by one, and then together, you build the community of this world as the consciousness reflected by your personal trinity reunification. This is a moment where only your connection to your cosmic heritage and the unraveling of that which you truly are, and all of which is being revealed in this, and again, we'll be giving a lot more of this during the New Year's as well. What do you want this world to be, my angels? Because we are really at that moment. Yeah. Many are asking what, where, times, dates, all that. But within the divine trinity, the only question is the recognition of the divine presence in all.
The divine presence in all. Just pause for a moment and bring a hand to your heart and recognize every being is on their journey.
Yes. Yes.
And when you look in the mirror and look at your own eyes, you are seeing the divine reflected back through you. And to see the divine reflected back through you is an opportunity to see the divine in all. And so as we recognize each other in the divine energy, we begin to realize that our life is our spiritual path, and our spiritual path is our divine presence.
Indeed.
So let's pop back here. Where we invite you eyeball to look at each other in that precious divine center. Pay attention to each other in that recognition. If you wish to be of service, hold your space of the divine harmonic trinity, if you wish to be of service in that way. Remember, there are many who are in service that have no idea what we're talking about. Yes. Know that we honor their presence as we honor yours. Each is in the divine moment. Each is in the divine presence. There are many of you here who are seeking and looking for those who have already transitioned into another realm of service. Dearest children, when you allow yourself into the harmonic trinity, all are already with you here, sharing, growing, and assisting. Know the truth of all that is.
Let's give that a little more oomph. Know the truth of all that is. Really breathe that in. And the reassurance that they're calling forward for you here, we love you dearly. We honor you, and we recognize within the divine upliftment of all that is consciousness is a universal gift that is not prohibitive from anyone, and that is open to the realm of allness. Know that we honor you. We are in great trust of all that you do, and we invite you to enter into the divine trinity of your own beingness often. Now, starting on page 10 right here, there are some questions that were given to the audience. There were more than this. And the ones that we left in here, we left in because they really have a greater context and relevance for all of us right now. And we're going to skip ahead right here to page 11. And we want to bring to your attention right here at the top.
Remember, you are at the time when time is folding upon itself. Linear time at this point is no longer what perhaps you would say it was. How's that for a linear explanation? As this time is shifting, as this time is folding, and as many start having very vivid memories, daydreams, dream times, expressions, understandings, synchronicities coming forward, it is imperative to stay here in this moment now.
And so this is an extremely important call to action, call to presence. Again, stay in this moment now. Stay in the focus of the manifestation of the divine being that you are. Stay in the truth of who you are. Don't let anything disrupt you. Nothing. Let yourself know the truth of that which you are, and then the divine inspiration will just keep flowing. It is not easy right now. There is so much conversion coming in. And yes, today is a glorious moment of expansion, but there is a moment of how we are expressing that is before us right now. And so I want to go back to the PDF and continue on this page right there at the bottom. We implore you, we encourage you. If you want this to be chaotic, it will be. Mm-hmm. And you will make that choice and have a great fun on that ride. Or allow yourself to recognize it, honor it, and move forward. And this is important because this is a moment about right now, not about who you were, what you want to be. It's about who you are. So let's breathe that in. And then this next question, we're just going to go ahead and let you read on your own and really hope that you do, because there's quite a bit there. So we're going to move to the following page there, because this is a really important question. The questioner is asking, well, let's just read the question. I experience pain when I am in spiritual surroundings, as if my body is trying to tell me something. I've been trying to communicate with it and can't hear anything. Why am I feeling this pain in such high energy surroundings?
What a good question. Pain is a powerful question. Why am I experiencing pain? Why am I feeling pain? And why can I not hear the pain? Dearest child, when you come into this planet, when you come into this form in this world, one of the greatest gifts you are offered is pain. Pain is the gift that offers you the opportunity to question. From the questioning, which you have already begun, emits an energetic field to the divine that says, I am ready to have an answer. When you are able to release the pain for the sake of pain and let the pain teach you, to let the pain offer you the question, and then let the question be sent out and allow yourself to receive the answer, that's the process that we're in. This is true with all beings and all pain. Pain is one of the greatest gifts of this world. Take a breath. when we stop arguing with pain, when we stop trying to cut deals with pain, when we stop cursing pain, we allow ourselves to question the reason and find the source. To break through into the recognition of what the gift is and become pain-free. This is a powerful question. So it's important to take a moment, and in this particular transcription, this is coming to the end of Zadkiel's sharing. And he closes, or she closes by this: we bid you farewell and offer the recognition that in the presence of all that is, have no doubt, you are all. Do not ever doubt for one moment that we are with you, always, as you are with us, always.
And so taking a breath and relax, because this final page, for those of you that are with us for the first time, we have been sharing these beautiful messages also from the Sufala, the benevolent ones who first appeared when we were actually in Peru. And their messages were very profound, very intense. It was very hard for my body to receive them. And all throughout this series, they would come in near the end, and they would always have, like, it was like there was this own series within a series within a series. Mm-hmm. And Sri Ramka always reads this, and we invite you to just really, at this point, we're not going to put up the PDF. We're just going to invite Sri Ramka to read this. This whole final few paragraphs is heavily encoded. And so in this moment, and in this very beautiful experience, and for all of you that have all these other wonderful things you want to do this evening, and for all of you that have been with us through the Galactic Encyclopedia series over the past 12 weeks, this is the moment where all the keys inside of you are ready to open, where everything is lined up, where all the universes, all the beautiful dimension experiences, the gift of the time surfing and the recognition of the master you are, is gazing at you and saying, are you really ready? That's the moment at hand. And it's as individual as you are. And so in this moment, the greatest gift we could offer all of you is an opportunity to simply be with the Sufala as my beloved wisdom teacher Sri Ramka shares them with you now, to let go of your mind, to relax into your breath, to bring a hand into your heart, and to know that what we have ignited is going to build all the way up until the 30th, and that on the 31st, we are going to come together, and there is going to be an explosion of energy that will set the stage for 2021. We have been adapting to this already, and we do invite you to join us. Please go to SriandKira.com. Please register and join us New Year's Eve. And in this moment, we'd like you to receive the blessing of this gift that was preceded into this timeline, should we arise at this moment, and we have, so that you could be here right now to receive it.
So take in a breath and just be with the energy of this transmission. Hello, beloved wisdom keepers. Our heart opens with the divine recognition that you have indeed come to the time of the process of the integration of all the records and all the keys. In the kingdom of divine beloved oneness, from whence you have been, and we come to you, we offer you now the beloved energy of opening up the portal of wisdom that exists for each of you in the area above what you call the third eye. In this portal of love, in the honesty and integrous recognition of your beloved beingness, there cannot be a secret. There cannot be withholding. There cannot be falsehood, because in this energy, you are. As you breathe and integrate more, the energy of beloved recognition will fulfill your heart with the divine, precious gift of reunification. Yes, In the majesty of the explosion of light that created the sparks of divine universal wisdom, which you are, each of you said, yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
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 Each of you is one and all. In the yes, there is the acceptance of all that is. We invite you to offer yourself one moment of heartfelt recognition. One moment of feeling, being, knowing, accepting. One moment to say, what if I could really feel and be?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, reconnect, reunify. Go deep within and ask, what if my presence is all that is light? We love you. We honor you. We are you as you are us.
And we invite you to remember that you are not your body. You are a master. You are here right now because you are ready to make conscious choices. Your ascension begins with the ever-refining spiral of awareness, experience, and choice. You made a choice to join us this evening,
Yes.
and we honor you for that. May you continue to make the choice to always be in the gift of your divine presence. For those of you that have traveled with us over this 12-week journey of the Galactic Encyclopedia, we bow before you and we thank you.
Yes. Let's take a deep breath together as we come to a close and know the energy of I Am, divine presence.
We'll see you New Year's Eve.